This is the St. Johns County Real Estate Auction Report brought to you by Vanta Quality Assets. You can find us at vantallc.com. Investors welcome. Now, let's go to court. And at the auction, we have just one sale. The first one here at 769 Hazel Moore Lane in Ponte Vedra. The sale was for $212,100. Actually, there was a back and forth. There was a very, very heavy bidding. But whoever got it at 71 cents on the dollar, according to the Zestimate. Seems to be a pretty decent home, I think. I mean, you know, the size of the home is about 2,000 square feet, and it's in Ponte Vedra, which is a nice area. Nice backyard. Always love the trees in the backyard. That's a lot of privacy. That means a lot. So, kudos to them. We didn't get it because we tried it first. Excuse me. But we did not really go for this one. There was a lot of issues with this home. Physically, and so we didn't go with this one. Next home, real quick, we're going to go through this real quick. 129 St. Croix Island Drive. Is it in St. Croix Island? Well, actually, bank had no reserve. There were some what I call probing bids, and before you know it, the bank ended at 150, 100. Nobody really wanted it, even though it was at 51%. Nobody pursued it. The bank didn't say anything, so it went back to the bank. But it was 150,100. Guess that the bank's gonna have to pay those credits. And 746. Excuse me. Woo! Something going on with my throat today. 746 Sandy Oaks Court. Sandy Oaks Court. And did that sell? It canceled. Interesting. Next one. 524 East Silverthorne Road. Pretty nice looking home. No reserve was put out. Bank said $100. Nobody else said anything. Lots of issues. Okay, here the reserve was $217 for this particular home at 200 Whisper Ridge Drive. $217, and the high bid was $100. And of course, as you can see, $217 is much more than any logical thinking investor would pay. So yes, the reserve was too high. And this particular one went back to the bank at $101,858 South Black Cherry Drive. There were no reserve, but you know, probing bids came in, but it went back to the bank. The bank got it back, and that's all she wrote as far as the auction is concerned. And thank you. And in other news, as we usually do, I'll show you the 30-year fixed, according to the Mortgage News Daily. And the 30-year fixed, you're looking at a good 5-year chart here. Let's look at the 6-month chart. Looks like it went back up again, breached the downtrend line, 6-month downtrend line. That would be a channel, but the 1-year channel is still not breached, as you can see. Just imaginary lines back formed on the bottom and on the top itself. So it's still kind of hit resistance on that downward channel, starting to go down. And I just thought I'd show you this. So now the 30-year fix finds itself at 3.79. Now let's look at the housing index. Housing index, remember that chart that I showed you a few months ago, all the way throughout? This is a good 3-year chart of the housing index. Looks like it actually breached that. It was actually forming a triangle, a wedge. Anyway, the top of that wedge is right here, and it looks like it actually reached the top and breached it, which that was a resistance and now became support right here. So that looks pretty good, right? Housing index, construction, same situation. This is the Dow Jones U.S. Home Construction Index. This is a good, let's see, is it a 3-year chart as well? Breached the resistance line, which was met just about here, about 540, and actually breached it. So it's on the upside. So everything's on the upside. Mortgage rates are still, you know, below 4, well below 4, and starting to fall. So what's the deal here? Well, this is as of February 23rd, Investment Research Dynamics. Existing home sales fall hard. Existing, not home construction. Not home construction. We're talking about existing. Fall hard to the tune of about 32%. If you look at the non-seasonality adjusted numbers, love those seasonally adjusted numbers. You gotta love them. Home sales from December to January fell 32%. I see it here, and I live in a very hot area, so to speak, in St. Augustine, Florida. There's any homes up here sell right quick, as they say around here. They sell right quick, but not of late. So basically, that's what's been going on. Yet, you know, home construction, housing index, there's a dichotomy. Something is wrong when these forces, if you will, are against each other. If one says one thing and the other says another, well, then basically what you have to do as an investor is kind of look at the situation for yourself. Do your own research and come up with your own analysis. Because let me tell you something. Government numbers, adjusted, non-adjusted, or whatever, they are not to be trusted. Now, I'm not saying that these are government numbers other than the Dow Jones U.S. Home Construction Index could possibly reflect that. Philadelphia Housing Index could possibly reflect that. So, things you may want to think about. Remember, the Federal Reserve now has a trading desk that buys stocks for the sole purpose of keeping and this is admitted, this is mainstream news, of keeping the market from falling. That's all I have to say about today, dear investor and listener of this blog. Remember, bid well, have no fear, and please take your hats off. It is court.